Guys, the most selfish thing you will ever do in your life is only to achieve goals for yourself. Being selfish comes at a massive cost when all you care about is little old me, your wants, your needs, your desires. I think it was about 6 months ago now, I had an awakening. And if you've watched content in the past from me, you've heard me speak in a lot of depth and detail about my rude awakenings, the bad things that have happened, the challenges in which I've faced, the fatal experiences which could have changed everything for me. And back then, in reflection, in hindsight, what a beautiful thing it is. Back then, I was very, very selfish, extremely selfish. All I cared about was the money I was making and saving for me. Almost to the point where I was pushing the people I loved further and further away from me. I wouldn't respond to family. I even tried to break up with my partner many, many times. And everything that I was doing in business was just focused on the Mr. Krabs mentality. Money, 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 me, my wants, my needs, my desires. And the world was serving me massive challenges, massive problems during this time. And I was just psycho enough to keep on fighting through. Until a point came where that pain, that stress, that pressure in which I felt every single day contracted in the mindset in which I was in. Always chasing, never attracting, left me in a position where I felt empty. I felt unfulfilled. I felt lost in the life I was trying to pursue and live. And I felt very out of alignment. There was no conscious congruency with a real North Star mission and vision bigger than what I believed I truly wanted, which I just thought at a time, because in the UK we're faced with this a lot. Money mindset is terrible. Bank as much cash as possible, save it, don't invest in yourself, burrow it away, and hopefully one day, real soon, you can keep up with the Joneses. That's literally the mindset I had, and I didn't like myself enough to feel like anyone else could like me, and this was a very negative place to be. That's why I always pushed the people I loved so dearly away from myself, to the point it led me to feeling empty, disconnected, and always seeking vices, always seeking drugs, porn, escapism, anything I could to just numb what I was lacking. That sense, that feeling, that deep internal pain and disgust over my own habits, my own daily actions. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And why am I telling you all this? Well, you might find yourself in a place and space in your life right now where you feel you lack faith, belief, a sense of connection, a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning. And it was, as I say, about 6 months ago, I was in Dubai. I was doing a stopover, a couple of business things before going home to visit my beloved family. And something strange happened, right? And if you're familiar with the hours of 2:45 a.m., right? It's when you are most spiritually and deeply connected to faith, to above, to God. And I've dabbled in the past. I actually used to tell people, which again, you can maybe get a snapshot of how negative my mindset was. I used to say I'm satanic. I'm an atheist. I was very against religion, very against faith, very fixed in a dark mindset for a long, long time. And obviously it makes sense when I look back and how my life was panning out. All the negative circumstances that were happening were based upon my reflection, how I saw myself, and that, changed the perspective and how I saw the world. But as I was saying, in Dubai, I was woken up. Not just waking up, I was woken up, woke. At 2:45 in the morning, with an instant download. Like, it wasn't like, I just woke up and rolled over and I was just looking around. It was like, boom, you were up. It was like a spark of lightning had hit my body. I sprung out of bed and instantly I heard a phrase, right? And it came to me, and I think it was Latin. It came to me. I heard these words, and I tried to write it down as soon as I could, and I really struggled to decipher it. But what I learned that phrase was driven by faith, God's hand is on your back. That same morning, when I woke up at 2:45, I grabbed a can of energy juice, smashed it down, Ghost, sour blue raspberry or something, phenomenal. Had some granola and just said, I'm running a half marathon. And I went out Dubai Marina at 3 a.m. and I ran 22 kilometers without stopping, just listening to some music. My thoughts, at one point my earphones died because again they weren't charged overnight, and I just listened to my thoughts, and I was really, really surprised because I'd never planned to run a half marathon that day. I was given the opportunity to run a half marathon that day, and yeah, half marathon's not that big. I've done marathons, ultra marathons before, but I was very out of condition with my running at that point. And to have that alarming message, that inspiring message, that wake-up call, that download, that universal download at that time in the morning, it was one of the most revolutionary, most inspiring pivots that I've ever made. And since then, you can obviously see I always wear a cross, I study the Bible, I dive deep on faith, religion, I learn the ancient laws from as many, the Toltecs, the Babylonians, all, the different pockets of society. I try to learn as much as possible because it got to a point in my life where I was constantly trying to win in a season that I was actually losing, right? And when I pivoted my perspective on who I was doing this for, it wasn't about me anymore. It was about giving back to my family, giving back to my friends, giving back to my clients, giving back to my partner. Because honestly, if they were to be taken away from me, I would have nothing. I would be nothing. I would just be me. I'd be back to my own selfish ways. And when I started operating from above, that's when everything changed. That's when I got the clarity. And everything's changed for me since then. I've become a hell of a lot more confident, a lot more at peace, a lot more in alignment, a lot more transparent, and a lot more just real. I just feel like a real person now. I feel like I've matured a hell of a lot, and a lot of limiting beliefs have been destroyed. Like, life is clear to me now. I understand what life is about because I've stopped focusing only on how other people perceive me from a selfish component. I focus only on the internal success which I can garner through the daily hard processes, the early wake-up times, the studying, the reading, the reflection, the meditation, the hard 12 out of 10 intensity training sessions, the nailing your macros every single day from a sacrificial standpoint to stay in that fasted, underfed state so you're always wired, so you're always connected. These are just simple habits which people look at as things that you need to do. I do them because they allow me to do the things I want to do. And that is a huge one to really understand here, because everything that you think people are doing right now in their life, and you might see them have massive elements of success, but certain parts of their routine you don't really understand. You maybe see them post about the Bible or speak in certain ways. All of these people, all of the top guys in any space in which I've studied, which I've had the pleasure of either working with, being mentored by, being coached by, invested heavily into, they all operate from faith. They all operate from alignment. They all have a conscious connection to either God, a religion, a certain philosophy that is more enlightened than the current person. And that is what I truly started to unpack and understand when I had that first awakening from above. And since then, everything's changed. As I was saying, I've managed to stay ruthlessly in shape every single day for the last probably let's say a 2-year time span. A year and a half of it was like really trying, like a try hard, like it's as hard as possible to hold the condition. The last 6 to 12 months have been literally easy breezy. I'm just that guy now. My business has grown month on month with less friction. I'm attracting dream clients every single day. I wake up every single day with amazing energy. I have no vices whatsoever. I am heavily addicted to nicotine, which I'm working on, but no drugs, no porn, no alcohol, no binging. That doesn't exist, whereas those are some of the 4 things that massively controlled my life for a long period of time. And I'm not saying you have to become religious to understand this, but wouldn't it be true for you if you were to operate with faith rather than without it? you would be more successful. If you had a daily ritual, a daily presence with someone, or a feeling of faith installed into you that you could have more self-belief to achieve the goals that you want. Wouldn't it be true if you studied and understood ancient texts and philosophies from those who have lived a longer, more fulfilling life than you and experienced all the things and, embodied all the different stories of what life has to offer you, your life would be different? I'm sure it would. It's like a yes, yes, yes question trilogy. And that's what I started asking myself. I really started asking myself these hard questions. What do I want? Who am I? Where am I going in the next 5 years? What are my standards? What are my habits? What are my behaviours? How do I communicate? Am I just one of those guys that achieves a goal to fall off, or am I a guy that sticks to a process through and through, long-term, locked in for the rest of my existence, to compound that success and growth slowly and steadily by 1% every single day to really live the highest quality of life I possibly could? I chose the latter. I chose not the quick wins. I chose the long, arduous path, the sacrificial path of becoming the very best version of me after that awakening. To 45, when you're deepest and closest connected to God, driven by faith, God's hand is on your back. I've learned how to pray. I've learned how to meditate. I've learned how to reflect and journal properly. I've learned how to sacrifice myself for the sake of everyone else. I've learned how to give things up without even stressing or trying, when in the past it used to be extremely tough and challenging. I found myself in the darkest places, and I lost myself in the lightest places. But the thing is, good or bad, black or white, up or down, in or out, you're always going to be the most exposed when you are not extremely ready to be exposed. And being exposed to what you truly now need to do comes through you just letting your guard down, softening to life, not losing your edge, not losing your hardness, your toughness. We're all men here. You got to protect your own. You got to show up and lead. But I mean, softening to the guidance, softening to the assumption, softening to the quest in which you truly need to go on. Because see, when you can be more like water and flow, that is when you will always win. That is when you will decide who you now need to become. Because see, when I look back at all the times when I've pursued massive, massive things, I softened to the reality of this is me, this is my life, this is who I'm going to be. When I was a professional skateboarder growing up, there would be days I would practice one trick for 10 hours, back to back to back to back to back, and I'd bail and I'd fail and I'd hurt my knees and my elbows and my back and I'd hit my head, and I'd just keep going because I knew once I'd fully committed to the trick, I would have landed it and rolled off smooth, and then my whole paradigm would have shifted, because therefore I am now the guy that can. And that's what you sometimes need to do. You're going to continue hammering yourself, keep hammering yourself, keep hammering yourself, doing these things until you eventually just allow yourself to click it and stick it. Because that's what it was with skateboarding. It's the fear, it's the doubt, it's the anxiety. It's about looking, it's about, you don't want to look stupid, so you try these tricks and you bail out and you kick your board away. Or you actually allow yourself to fail and bail because you don't feel confident enough to land it. But see, when I started trusting myself fully in skateboarding, like let's say I came to like a set of 15 stairs that I want to fucking fly over and do a kickflip over, you'd roll up to it and shit yourself, you'd roll up to it and shit yourself, then you'd roll up to it and try ollie it and you'd maybe get it and skin yourself. But then the real trick that which you wanted, the kickflip or the heel flip, and you just said, I'm doing this. You just pretended, right? You pretended that you were just doing it on flat ground. And then obviously times it by 15 steps and probably about 10 foot. And you just ride and you kickflip it, you'd catch the board midair and you'd land on the bolts and you'd roll away smooth. And I remember doing that in front of so many people one day at a skate park, a big audience, and they were all going crazy once I landed it, because I'd literally spent 10 hours trying to do it. And I was like, why didn't I just do that the first time? Why didn't I just nail that the first time? Because it felt so easy. And that's the thing, see, when you submit to actually doing what you want to do, life will get easy. People will praise you because you stop sacrificing, your ego. No, you start sacrificing your ego, I should say. so you can literally just be at flow and commit fully to the process. And how does this lead back to business? How does this lead back to life? Well, if you understand where I'm coming from in this story, in this message right now, is to have the undeniable delusional faith and belief in yourself that you can do anything you want, but you have to succumb to the bullshit stories you tell yourself and override them by having uncontrollable levels of confidence and faith in you, by sacrificing who you currently are to become who you need to be. Because the person you currently are is not getting you the current level of results that you want. The person you want to be will have the results that you want. So you need to understand, who do you now need to commit to being? What do you now have to let go of? What habits, vices, traits, mindsets you have to literally destroy and leave behind to take things to the next level? Because I tell you what, my brother, the minute I found God, the minute I found faith, the minute I removed the pressure, stopped caring so much about me, and started thinking about the bigger impact, the bigger purpose, everything got done. Every standard was held to a much higher component, like 100% across the board. Every training session was so accurate. Every meal was dialed in. Every sale was just flowing. Every client connection was easy. Things started working, content started making more sense. And I know I'm getting used to this YouTube stuff now, and it's a struggle sitting on here sometimes and sharing, because you sometimes think, I need to script, or I need to do this, and you have this bad hook. But see, sometimes just sitting down and raw talking like I'm doing now, this is where I feel most authentic, most engaged, most real with you guys, because it's coming straight from the heart and the soul. And I believe if you're watching it and you've made it to this part of this video, then this is one of those videos that has found you. If this has found you, I argue with you to explore the power of what faith can do for you. Live with God's hand on your back. Be driven by faith. You will see the world in a completely different light. You will effortlessly attract what you want to attract. You will flow. You will stress less. You will feel more. You will see more. You will become so much more. And I never push this on any of my clients inside my program, because it's not my place. I'm just a messenger, 100% to the wide, to the masses, but one-to-one, I will never push it. But I will speak about it. I will openly speak about it and talk to them about the benefits and the impact. And I had a client message me the other day, and he's like, he saw my story on Instagram. He's like, I didn't know you were driven by faith, brother. I was like, yep, 100%. Told him this exact story, and he sent me back a picture of him living his best life, jacked, on holiday. He runs his own business, and he sent me a picture of his morning Bible study, and I was just like, people need to see this more. It's not a little faux pas anymore. And I'm not one of those people that rub it in your face or push it in your face, but I honestly do believe if you can give yourself time to read, to unpack, to learn, to be guided by something, this universal intelligence, these universal laws, great things will start happening to you. And it will feel so strange, but you need to be in the frequency to align with those goals. If you set the goals, become the person who can achieve those goals, be driven by complete faith and belief that you can have them, have a big enough desire to move forward, and remove that selfish, entitled behavior so you can take the right action and move yourself towards who you now need to be. And I tell you what, everything will change in this life for you. And you will find, guys, every single time a challenge arises, you are grateful for the challenge, because you know this is just a testament of time that you need to now wade the war through, so you can actually build enough confidence and strength to achieve the next level. And that's what faith is. It's about having that undeniable faith. It's no bad, no good. It's just now. It's just moving. It's just action. It's about learning as you go. And this is a beautiful thing. This is such a beautiful thing. And I tell you what, commit fully to Him. Commit fully to above. Commit fully to yourself. Commit fully to serving as many people as possible. And the rest will take care of itself. It's seriously will. This has allowed me to build the business of my dreams, travel where I want, Bali, Dubai, travel the world, retire my partner at 27, hire my best friend, build an amazing culture, community of clients, sell new services, become the guy I've always wanted to be long before I was ready. Stay in shape, be in shape, continue building on my physique, have amazing levels of energy, quality sleep, get wiser and smarter by the day. It's insane. It literally feels like the Limitless Pill. And I tell you what, you get yourself right, you solve the world's problems. Guys, there's going to be a couple of links below in the description. This is just going to be a very candid CTA. One of them will be to work with me personally one-to-one. If this message resonated to you and you want to have more conversations like this with more guys like me, you want to win on the highest level, build your physique, master your mindset, and live an incredible lifestyle, this is the place to be. Elite VIP is where you want to go. There's also going to be my Savage Productivity System. That is the me work, we work, and be work system, in which I've created to get more shit done in less time every single day and 10x your output. And there's also going to be access to the course below, Peak Secrets, where I install my mental syntax into your life. Self-paced coaching, you might not need a one-to-one coach right now, but I tell you what, that's a great place to start. So guys, I will see you in the next one. I'm here to serve, here to provide value. I really hope you enjoy this style of content, and let me know in the comments below if it was something you needed to hear today. But I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you rate and subscribe. See you soon, guys.